Since 2009, Southeastern Automotive Group has been buying for and selling to most of the franchise dealerships in the area. What if you were able to bypass the big dealerships with the big markups? Buy direct from the supplier. Save thousands of dollars on your next vehicle purchase. Have a trade-in? No problem. With used vehicles in such high demand, Southeastern Automotive Group has dealers ready to buy your trade. If Southeastern Automotive Group doesn't have the perfect vehicle for you, using their vehicle locator program, they will have it shipped in without any hassle or haggling you hate. With over hundreds of thousands of cars available at auctions across the nation, your next vehicle purchase is just a click away. ESP Specialist in Fabrication is located at 169 Little Phoebe Church Road in Folkestone, Georgia. President Mark Pickering and his employees utilize the latest technology with a skilled workforce to supply customers with the best custom fabrication possible. Serving clients at home and abroad makes ESP a premier employer in Charlton County. For all your specialty and fabrication needs, contact ESP at 912-496-2583 today. They're also on Facebook at ESP Specialist Fabrication. ESP is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sportsnet.
Okefenokee Rural Electric Membership Corporation has been providing quality electric service at a competitive price to residential, commercial, and industrial customers in southeast Georgia and northeast Florida since 1939. For tips and advice on how to save electricity and stretch your energy dollars, call 1-800-262-5131 and speak to your marketing representative. We are a cooperative owned by those we serve.
Hey Indian fans, did you know you're eligible to join the United First Federal Credit Union? We are your hometown financial institution offering services such as online banking, mobile deposit, free checking, and much more. And if you're in the market to purchase a vehicle, our auto loan rates start as low as 2.99 for those who qualify. We are conveniently located at 3773 2nd Street South in Folkestone. Federally insured by NCUA and equal housing lender.
Folks, good evening and welcome back to the Coach Mack Show. I'm Adam Bell for Charlton Sportsnet along with head coach Rich McCorder of the Charlton County Indians. Coach, it's a swamp war week and I've got so much to dive into with that. But beforehand, Telfair County last Friday night.
We were really very happy to come out of Telfair County with a win. That's been one of the places that's been really difficult for us to play at. Over McRae, there's been a couple of times we've rolled in there and just I've played awful and I've gotten whipped in there, but I was really excited that we were able to go in there and we really played a pretty good football game. Defense I thought had a really good overall game. Defensively, we had two series where we felt like that we were really bending, and one series they drove it down and was able to score on us, and then another series seems like we were giving up third down. On third down, we weren't playing real well, and they were converting. But other than that, I thought that our defense played a great game. I think our defense was really led by a senior, number 15, Travis Ray. Travis had 13 and a half tackles and a quarterback sack. Travis did a great job on the defensive side of the ball. He's been out for several weeks with an arm injury, but he's back going full speed for us. So we're real excited about that. That makes our defense a lot better. Defensively, again, we were able to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback when they were in position where they had to pass the ball, but still gave up a few big plays. And offensively, I'll tell you, we had a great, really all year long, Raekwon Anderson. I think we can talk about him every game, but Raekwon had another big night throwing the football. The week before against Wilcox, he had, I think, 4 touchdowns rushing and 1 throwing, so he was really big running the football. This week, he did a great job throwing the football, I thought. We really worked hard all week long on our RPOs, the run-pass option game, really trying to take pre-snap reads, seeing what was available and taking it, and he did a great job on that. It's something we really wanted to focus on, and something that we were able to do a real good job. I thought Raekwon did a super job throwing the football. And Michael Elliott, again, on both sides of the ball. But Michael Elliott, I tell you, he is running the football with some authority. Another great job carrying the football for us and plays. Those 4 seniors right there, I mentioned 2 of them. Then Lance Carter, I think, on the defensive line had another big game. So Raekwon Anderson, Michael Elliott, Lance Carter, and Travis Ray had a huge game for us, and it was really what we needed. 21-7. But I felt like we were pretty much in control the whole time. It was close at halftime, 7-0, but came out the second half, and really felt like we had everything under control the whole night. But really pleased with our effort again, and really pleased with the outcome.
Yeah, it was a great game, and like you said last week on the show, Telfair is always a tough place to play, but our crowd showed up. They were very vocal. We had a vocal crowd there Friday night.
Thought we had a really good crowd, and plenty of help from the stands coaching, and that's always important. And but no, it was a great atmosphere. And of course, our band was incredible, fantastic. Just that creates the atmosphere, and really appreciate them. And it was really a good day altogether. You know, you always have concerns when you have to leave school so early. Go on a long road trip, it takes you out of your routine. But I thought our guys adjusted well. I thought we had a really good day, and ended it with a big region win, and it's what we needed.
Yeah, I know on the first score, I failed to get highlights this week, but on that first score, you actually switched them up. Keyshawn throwing to Raekwon on that, and he made a spectacular catch.
You know, it's nothing that we haven't practiced, and nothing we don't have in our package. We actually have a lot of things to where we can put Keyshawn at wide receiver, and he has played some quarterback, and he has played some quarterback. He's done a good job there for us, and that's going to be some more things. We'll do that along. But they took a timeout, and I think it was their timeout, so we took advantage of that timeout.
Right.
Brought everybody together, and we just said, listen, he goes, we're going to take a shot right here. And really how it worked out good, it was on our sideline. We just broke the huddle and kept Raekwon over on our sideline. Yeah. And Keyshawn went over and got a quarterback. And to be honest, I'm not sure they really noticed it. Noticed it right away. And it was really the only thing we're going to do that play is get the ball and throw it up and let Raekwon make a play. And Raekwon's going, he's going to play wide receiver at the college level, and that's where he's the best at. But he's just too good of an athlete for us not to have him a quarterback right now. Just as a great throw by Keyshawn Williamson, and it was a great play, and that really got us ignited and got us going on the right direction.
Tammy got a spectacular shot of. She was actually down in the end zone when Raekwon was making that catch right in front of her, and it was a great play. It was a great play.
Really good throw, great completion. Yeah.
And going back to Michael Elliott a little bit on offense, I know we've talked about it a couple of times. He's not doing the dancing thing. He's going right at those linebackers and defensive line.
And that's the thing with Raekwon and Michael that we've really have been emphasizing to them is your best move is straight ahead. Your best move is to use your speed, your quickness, and not so much the dancing side to side. We try to explain to them. We show them on film how the play develops and the hole is there. But so often we're getting in the hole and we're looking for the big play.
Right.
The big play is great. Don't get me wrong. We'll take a big play, but those 4 and 5 yard plays are really what you got to have. First and 10 to the second and 5 to third and 1 to first down. I mean, that's really what you want. You want to stay ahead of the change. You want to stay on schedule, and when they look for the big play and want to dance around and so forth, that's where we have the big loss. And we got to stay away from the negative plays. And Michael is running the football so hard right now, and our offensive line is really doing some good things. I felt like Khalil Burrows, our right offensive guard, had a really, really big game. And Khalil he's a sophomore offensive guard, and I think he's getting better and better. I think he's going to be a guy that one day is going to be a college prospect at offensive guard.
At those offensive linemen, you're getting all of those back but one, right?
No, I think we lose all of them but 2.
We lose all of them.
Yeah, there's 3 of them are seniors, and then both our guards are coming back. Left guard, Grayson Carter is a junior. Right guard, Khalil Burrows is a sophomore. rest of them are seniors.
So you got some foundation there. You can build back.
We got two great ones coming back next year, but we gotta find three. And again, I don't know. And I tell the young offensive linemen all the time that you know, three of you guys will be on the field next year. You will be starting, and you need to remember that and think about that every day you're in the weight room and every day you're on the practice field.
Yeah, because it leads to it.
Exactly. Yes.
Just reloading every year. Going back to the Raquan and Michael. Raquan's doing it in the air and with his legs, creating space, and when plays tend to break down, the play's not over with him.
You know, Raquan's the kind of player, he can make plays above the X's and O's. Like you said, when the play does break down, it's still alive for him, still alive in the passing game. He's got a very strong arm. And that's, you know, when we knew AJ was going to graduate, and what really was so appealing to Raquan playing quarterback was his arm strength. He's got a very, very strong arm. He can throw the ball a long ways, and actually I think the challenge has been for Raquan to be able to put some touch on the ball, take a little bit off of it on the intermediate and the shorter stuff. That's been a big challenge for him. But again, with his athleticism in the run game and his athleticism above the X's and O's, really makes him a weapon for us on offense.
I know on the offensive side too, Michael, but Tony Cobb has come in and had some nice runs as well for you guys.
Tony Cobb is a kid that, you know, he's a sophomore, young guy, and he's one of those guys that you look at and he has the potential to be a even better than probably Michael is at running back. He has the potential, I think, to be a possible college prospect at running back. He's got a long way to go. Don't get me wrong. He's got to protect the football a little better. He's got to trust the play and not try to bounce things when it's not there. And he's also got to, like a lot of young players, he's got to really start getting focused off the field as well as on the field. He's got to get focused Monday through Thursday in practice. But he's come a long way, and I think he's a guy, he still has a long way to go. But again, in 2 years, we can be talking about Tony Cobb as being one of our region's top running backs, one of our Indians that have the chance to possibly play some more football.
Well, that's fantastic. Going back to the Raquan and Keyshawn combination, later on in the game, I realize I don't have highlights, but later on in the game, Raquan actually hit Keyshawn with what you're talking about with his arm, that long ball.
We had a holding penalty on it, which the film doesn't really show it, but we had a long pass. Keyshawn Williamson, great catch for a touchdown, got called back, and then later on we had it was one of our RPOs. We had a zone play to the right, and then Raquan was able to come back to the left and get Keyshawn on a huge catch. It was actually a better catch than it was throw. Keyshawn made a great play on that, and you know, Keyshawn's really, as the year is going on, I think that I don't think slump is the word for it, but it kind of got off to a slow start. And Keyshawn's really picked it up quite a bit, and is doing a great job at blocking at the receiver position, catching balls, and also doing a great job in special teams for us.
Over on the defensive side, you mentioned Travis. Bryce had a nice game, but Travis being out for a few weeks, you wouldn't have known he was out.
Well, no,
he stepped in and just went right to it.
No injury is good, but if you got to have a mid-season or early season injury, I guess an upper body injury would be the one you would pick, really, because he was still able to go out of practice every day and run. Actually, he did a lot of running over why he was out for, I'm thinking he might have been out for maybe 3 weeks, 4 weeks, something like that, and with an open week in there, seemed like it was a long time. But with it being an upper body injury, an arm injury, he was still able to run. In the weight room, he was still able to do a lot of leg lifts and leg exercises and so forth. So bouncing back with an upper body injury is actually quicker. You know, you have an ankle or a knee or a lower body type injury, you're on the shelf. You can't do a whole lot of practice. You can't do a whole lot in the weight room and so forth. So I've seen this over the years with guys with shoulder, elbow, or some other injury like that, be able to come back quick because you can keep them in shape. You can keep them running. You can keep them lifted with the lower body and so forth. So, and that's exactly what we saw by his first game back. You know, coming right out of the gates with a bunch of tackles here, 13 and a half of them, and really bouncing back quick. So that was really great to see.
I know we called his name a lot Friday night on the webcast. He had a great game. Coach, we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back. We'll dive into our senior spotlights, and then you have some news about our one-act play.
Yeah. Well. I mean, I know softball's over, and you know, and everything. So I was fortunate enough. That's why I'm kind of cleaned up. I was fortunate enough to go with the one-act play today, and that was a lot of fun seeing them perform at the regional level.
I have to figure out how to stream a play one night and see if we can get that done.
You know, it may be illegal. You might not be able to because they warn us about our phones and our cameras. But still, it's a lot of fun to see those guys do that. Our football players do that. That's what was so good about it.
They were in it. They were in it as well.
2 of them were in it.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. Auto Supply, located at 4439 2nd Street North in Folkestone, Georgia, is owned and operated by the Dasher family. They have everything you need, bumper to bumper, for domestic and foreign car parts. Big truck operators, they have you covered as well with belts, seals, hoses, welding supplies, and so much more. They even have lawnmower parts, blades, and accessories. Stop by today and see the whole crew. Miss Joe, Pam, Little Sammy, Stephen, Dylan, and Big Sammy himself. It's Folkestone Auto Supply.
Folkestone Pharmacy and Electronics, located at 3885 Main Street in the heart of downtown Folkestone. They're Folkestone's original hometown pharmacy with 49 years serving the community. They have everything you need, including household items, prescription medications, high-tech electronics, and much more. Their experienced and friendly staff in the pharmacy and electronics department are ready to serve you. Folkestone Pharmacy and Electronics is a proud sponsor of Charlton Sports. Go Indians! Gant AC.
Welcome back to the Coach Mack Show and our senior spotlights, number 78, William Hogg, and number 63, Malik Alderman.
You know, we're going to talk a little bit about William Hogg in the one-act play, I know, in a minute. But, you know, William Hogg, he's been a three-sport athlete for us every year he's been in high school, which is really pretty incredible. You don't find a lot of kids that will, you know, participate all year long in different sports. He's been a 4-year football player for us, 4-year letterman in football, 4-year letterman. He will be a 4-year letterman in wrestling, and then also in tennis. And he's one of these guys, and also he's involved in all sorts of different activities in the school. Our one-act play, and then our musical at the end of the year, and so forth. And he's one of these guys that the real appreciation comes about him is in his preparation. He does a great job in practice, getting himself ready, getting players around him ready, whether he needs to run scout team or step in anywhere on the offensive line. He actually can play all 5 positions on the offensive line, center included. In the off season, he's one of the best weight room guys I have. He ain't gonna miss a workout. He's never gonna miss a day of school. In the off season, there's been many times in the middle of the afternoon, you know how hot it can be around here in the summer. I'll come up to the field house here and I'll see him outside working on something, running, sprint, or whatever. And William is he's a fantastic young man. I had the opportunity to spend some time with him today, riding back from Osceola, and he said he's all set. After graduation, wants to go to the Navy.
Oh yeah.
And wants to try to even go into officer the officer route. Yeah. After that, so he's got some plans for himself, and what a great young man. I mean, if you ever have a chance to visit with him, he's as good a kid as you're ever going to get. I don't think I've ever heard anybody say a negative thing about William Hogg. He's just a great young man.
Yeah, he's always polite to us. Every time I see him for like you say, the last 4 years, he always speaks. He'll ask me if I need help with this or that, and that's a fantastic young man.
Yeah, it really is.
All right, number 63, Malik Alderman. Coach.
Malik Alderman, he's a guy that I know played junior high football for us, but it was spring practice of his 8th grade year. Malik was, coming up to the 9th grade, and in the springtime we try to film every day, everything, and then also watch it the next day when we come in. And it was probably a couple of days into spring practice. And again, you don't always know who everybody's name is as 8th graders coming in.
Right.
You're just really getting to learn them. But I can remember in the 8th grade, him coming into the 9th grade, spring practice, we're filming it, and we're watching film, and I finally had to stop it, and I said, who is 63? And one of the coaches said, that's Malik Alderman. And I'm like, you know what? He's a good football player. Yeah. He, as a rising 9th grader, he had great technique, played with his hands, was able to get off blocks on the defensive line and make plays for us. And really from his 9th grade year on has been a part of what we're doing on the defensive side of the ball. I think really solid starter his junior year, and this year as a senior, and as a sophomore, I know he had some starts also. But he's a guy that his body's really come along in the weight room. The weight room has benefited him. I know we talk about that all the time. 6 foot, 220-pound football player that can run well. Now, Coach Murray would love to have him full time on the offensive line, but what we try to do in our program is those positions, the offensive line, defensive line, we try to get those guys just to go one way, if possible, and we've been really fortunate to be able to do that. And Malik is a guy that enables us to do that because he does such a great job on the defensive side of the ball. But he's a guy that can play on the offensive side if needed. But again, just like talk about William Hogg, he's one of these guys that never misses school, never misses a workout. Low maintenance when it comes to just having to deal with him. He's dependable, and that's an attribute that as a coach you really love. You don't ever have to wonder if somebody like William or Malik is going to be there. They're going to be there. They're all in, and they've always been all in. And this Friday night, senior night, we're going to get to recognize these guys and the rest of our seniors. What a great group of young men, and I think you're going to see them do some great things down the road. And
they're all going to be successful.
Yeah, and whether it is, and I think this group right here, as much as any group I've ever had, has really been a group that you can ask them, and I'm always talking to them, and like, hey, what are you going to do 5 years from now? What are you going to be doing? And they all have plans. They all have ideas of what they're going to be doing, and I'm as proud of that as I am as what they're doing on the football field for us.
Well, definitely, because they nowadays you have to have a plan going forward after high school, because otherwise you're, fast food joint.
Yeah, you really do, and it's you're going to be left behind if you don't have a plan. And
that's the word I was looking for.
And in college football isn't really a plan to me. It's if you're fortunate enough to have enough ability along with the grades to go play college football, that's great. But the key to that is the college, not the football, not the football part. But we have kids who are really doing a great job of thinking beyond that and thinking, hey, trade school could be the answer, right. Which is an incredible option these days. Trade school is a better option than 4-year college.
There's a huge demand for trade workers.
And also we have a lot of kids who are really interested, if not already committed in the military. So really proud of that. So I think just about every one of our kids has got their mind made up on what they're going to do, whether it's trade school, military, or going to a college. So I'm really proud of this group. This is going to be Friday night, senior night. If you hopefully, if you're coming to the game, and I hope they are coming to the game.
I imagine you have to beat them out of the gate Friday night.
Yeah, hopefully we're going to have a crowd there early enough. We're going to start at 7 o'clock. We're going to recognize our senior football players, our senior cheerleaders, our senior band, and I'm not sure, but hopefully, and I think possibly our senior softball. I know they have their own senior night over there at the softball field, but hopefully they'll get recognized again here. It's going to be a big senior class with football band, cheerleaders, and hopefully the softball girls. And I'll tell you what, it's a big group in numbers, but it's a high quality group of young men and women that we have in our high school right now.
That's fantastic. Hey, Coach, I'm going to leave William. I'm going to leave the pictures up so you can talk about William the actor now.
Yeah, William the actor. I tell you, let me first of all say, the thing at Charlton County High School is, of course, starts at the very top with Dr. John Laracy, and then our principal, Dr. Josh Howard, and we have two great assistant principals, Coach Marksman and Mr. Cooper. We got a lot of great things really going on at Charlton County High School, not just football. I mean, our girls softball team led by Coach Mike Baxter has taken those girls to the playoffs now
for a while.
Yeah, for a while, and have been a state contender. Of course, our baseball team has been outstanding. Our spring sports with track and tennis and baseball, all those guys have been at the state level now and doing a great job. And academically, we keep getting word that we're making strides in the right direction. Everything going on with graduation and all that. And when you sit down and really look at the teachers we have at Charlton County High School, we've got an outstanding group of teachers. Yeah. And I really stress to our players how lucky they are to have those teachers that, number one, they care. That's really the top qualification. I mean, if you can get a coach or a teacher or anybody and they care, you're on the right track. And we've got a faculty that truly cares about our young men and women at our high school, and I really appreciate the job they've done. I've had two daughters now. My youngest daughter will graduate in May, but two kids have been through Charlton County schools, and I think it's served them really well. Of course, your son AJ have been through there, but whatever your kids are involved in, you're involved in. Yeah. I know my daughters have been big in the FFA, the hog shows. Well, I'm not a farmer and I've never been one, but now I'm involved in the hog shows.
You're learning the farming trade.
Because that's what they're in. So whatever your kids are in, you're in.
Right.
And my youngest daughter has always been into the one-act plays and the musicals and so forth, and so when they're into it, you're into it. And my wife and I hardly try not to miss anything. So this year, her senior year, I volunteered to drive the football trailer with the props into it and went to the region. And I'll tell you, first of all, a big shout out to Mary Foraker, who just does an incredible job with our those type of activities at our school. One-act play, the musicals. One-act play is a GHSA activity, just like it's governed by the same people that govern our sports. So they have rules to follow. They have competition, and they had the region competition, and our kids were region runner-up, which was a huge big deal, because all the schools that were there is nothing but quality. I mean, they were all fantastic. But our kids did a great job in their play, and Mary Foraker, again, just does an awesome job. But it seems like every year I'll have at least one, maybe more of our football players involved in that. And I really encourage that. I want our kids to be involved in student government, to be involved in the homecomings and everything we got going on here. And Keyshawn Williamson and William Hogg are involved in it. Yeah. And in the springtime, those guys will be involved in it, along with Brantley Sloan, who's always involved in the spring play. But Keyshawn Williamson was named best actor. I guess that's how you say it. I don't know all this acting lingo yet, but anyway, he does a great job. He really does a great job, which if you know Keyshawn, it's not that much acting going on, because he's always in character mode. If you know him, he's a character with some character. If you know Keyshawn, but I think he was named best actor, and William Hogg was named to the All-Star cast, which is a big deal. They're not just football players now. These guys get it done on the stage, they get it done on the courts, and they get it done in the classroom. And I'm really proud of Keyshawn and William and the kind of young men they are and the way they represent themselves, their families, this football program, and this school. So big shout out to those guys.
Would a football fan recognize William and Keyshawn on stage?
I think you would. I think you really would, because their kids have been in the weight room for 4 years. They're big, strong guys, and again, they do an incredible job. And when I watch it, you know, people always ask me, like last night, say, Coach, what do you think about your guys up there? And the best word I can use is proud. I'm proud of them. I really am. I'm proud of the fact that they do more than one thing. Their horizons are broad, and they do things, which tells me that a guy like Keyshawn, a guy like William, when they get out after school in the real world, they're going to be just fine. They're going to be able to get in any kind of situation or environment. And well, these two guys can probably act their way out of it, I guess. But it's a lot of fun to see them, and they do a super job. And it's really, if you ever have an opportunity to go see something that's maybe not in your comfort zone, you know, going to a play might not be in all of our comfort zone, but I'll tell you, you'll leave there a better person after watching these young people do what they do. Maybe you don't go to, maybe you haven't been to a basketball game in a long time, or baseball or softball. I really encourage you to get involved and go see our young people do things other than maybe just football on Friday nights or just the band or cheerlead. It's really a lot of fun to see them do other things.
All right, Coach. Well, congratulations to the one-act player, best actor, runner-up region. And congratulations to those guys and gals, your daughter as well.
Yep.
All right, well, let's dive into some Swamp War, Coach. I hear there's a game Friday night. It's a rumor going around that we have a rivalry game coming up.
You know, and it seems like this game has fallen many times on the Georgia-Florida weekend.
It does.
So it's kind of, when it comes to the pinnacle of football for this area, right? I think it's this weekend with Georgia, Florida right down the road in Jacksonville, and Charlton County Clinch right here. So I think it's going to be a big weekend for football. Hopefully the weather cooperates, but I think this is one of those games, irregardless of the weather, you're still going to have a great crowd. So we have senior night, you know, and Charlton Clinch game with, of course, Clinch County are defending state champions. They've got a 4-star athlete and Tresman Marshall going to the University of Georgia, they say. So you have a chance to see. We got a Division I football player going to University of North Carolina, and Raekwon Anderson. They got one going to Georgia. Actually, they probably got more than one after looking at their film. I think they've got a kid who's 6'7", 200 pounds, playing defensive end, wide receiver. Another one, 6'6", 200 pounds, playing all over the field. And of course, they got some. It seems like everybody but us has big old running backs, big, solid 200+ pound running backs, except for us.
Must be in the water over there on I-75.
It must be really. Just in our whole region, it seems like. When it comes to the eyeball test, it feels like we're losing every week. Our guy, we don't have the tall guys or the big, fast running backs like other people have. Clinch County is an incredible football team. Really, just 2 or 3 plays from being undefeated against the #1 team in the state, and that's Irwin County. I would not be at all surprised if you see Clinch County, Irwin County play for it again. They are just head and shoulders above everybody else right now. Clinch County as you look at them on film, of course you look at the skilled guys. Everybody that's in a 2-point stance is an incredible athlete. Tall, big, strong, fast, plays really smart football, and then you start looking at the guys that put the hand on the ground. Defensive line, big, fast, strong, and playing multiple kids, not just the 4 that they usually put out there, but there's always a couple that can work themselves in. So that they've got a little bit of depth there. The offensive line is very well coached, doing a great job. Clinch County, if you had to start throwing words out there, you know, phrases out there, very well coached, very physical, you know, play winning football. You know, very confident, playing and what they're doing. So it's going to be a tough football game, but it's one we're looking forward to. Hey, these are the games you really sign up for. These are the games where you go test yourself against the state's best.
Right.
State's best athletes, state's best team, and Clinch County is going to bring that into the Swamp Friday night. We have a long history. I believe we've, you look at their program and our program, there may be a couple numbers off either way, but we're going by our program. I think we've played 66 times, according to what I got right here. I guess that would be the correct math. 66 times, I believe, we played one another, and I think, according to this, we're up 34-31 with one tie. But it's the recent history that we're concerned about. The recent history is we've lost the last 3 times we've played them. So that's something we're hoping someday in the near future that we can maybe get that switched back around. And it seems like it goes in little spurts to where we'll win a couple and then they'll win a couple and then it keeps going back and forth because it seems like we're so similar in our type of athlete and the style of football and so forth. But they've been on top the last 3 times we've played. So hopefully we can close in and get that switched around. And this rivalry goes all the way back to 1952. So a lot older than most of the people at the game, older than me, and so forth. So it's a great rivalry. It's a lot of fun. It seems like my staff, I've got, let me think, varsity staff, I've got three varsity coaches that were born and raised right here and played high school football for me here that have played against these guys for many years.
The rivalry goes through your staff.
Yeah, and then their staff, I may be wrong, but I'm going to say it, I think just about their entire staff was born and raised in Clinch County, played for Clinch County, for either Cecil Barber, Coach Dickerson, or Coach Don Tyson, a legendary coach from over there. So there's a lot of and I think a lot of our kids know one another. Over the years, competing at the rec level or competing at the junior high level and all through high school. So it's a great rivalry. I tell you, it's a rivalry that's really developed, in my opinion, out of respect for one another. Those guys do a great job coaching. Coach Jim Dickerson and his staff, Coach Peterson, Coach Tyson, his coordinators do an awesome job of coaching those kids and getting them ready to play. And I think it's more than anything, maybe years and years ago before I got here, it was more heated in one way. But since I've been here, it's mutual respect. And again, I have no problem seeing Clinch County do well, other than one night a year.
Other than one.
But when they get in the playoffs and when they've been playing for state championships, I enjoy seeing them do well. And I think they would probably say the same thing about us. And I guarantee you, after the game, we're going to get together, we're going to pray it up, and wish them the best of luck throughout their playoffs. And I'm sure they'll do the same to us. But they do a great job. It's a great community over there, and we have so many things, similarities than we do
with the communities.
Than differences, I believe.
And I know there's a lot of relation too, because I see some things on social media about houses divided. Because there's aunts and uncles over there that have nieces and nephews over here, and vice versa. So there's a lot of, it's almost like Florida, Georgia.
It really is, and that's kind of like ironic how the Florida-Georgia weekend is this weekend and the Clinch-Charlton weekend is this weekend, because it's really the same. Like you said, I think that's a great example of, people in this area are split between Georgia and Florida, and then also we have some people here I know that were born and raised over in Clinch County, and I think there's some people from Clinch County, live in Clinch County that were maybe born and raised over here. So the only thing dividing us is this swamp right between us. So
that might be a good thing.
That might be a good thing, but it's going to be the game's going to be here Friday night, 7:30. Senior night starts at 7. It'd be great to have a big crowd here and give those kids and their parents the recognition that they deserve, most definitely deserve, before the game starts.
Definitely, no doubt about it, Coach. On the offensive side of the ball for Clinch, they might throw 2 or 3 times a game. They just run. They come right at you.
No, they do run, but we're spending a lot of time versus their pass because they will throw the football. And when they're going to throw the football is when you least expect it, off play action, after they've been just hammering you with the run, they're going to come up and throw the football. And a big key for us, and this is, I'm not giving anything away, but our secondary guys have got to read the release of the players. And that's, last week we had trouble with that. As a defensive back, especially at the high school level, you can tell a lot about what's going on in the first couple of steps as a defensive back. You got to get your eyes out of the backfield. If you've got your eyes as a defensive back in the backfield, you're already losing, because the play action is going to freeze you, and just the fact that you're staring in the backfield is going to be a big problem. You've got to read the first couple steps of that receiver or slot receiver coming at you, and then you've got to react. You've got to flip, or you've got to play your cushion a certain way, and we've had some trouble with that. So that's something we're going to do a better job on. They run one of the oldest offenses known to man. It's single wing, somewhat of the Notre Dame box. They've made it their own. They do their own thing on it, and they do a great job with it. And it's really, I enjoy watching it. I mean, all week I'm going to spend a lot of time just watching it because, even though we throw the football a lot and we're in the spread, my roots go back to the double tight wishbone and the smash mouth type of football like they run, and I enjoy watching it. On a Saturday afternoon, if I had my choices, I'm going to watch people like Georgia Tech, Army, Navy, those Georgia Southern, people like that who still really run the football in the old style of play, and that's what we're going to get. We're going to get them really running right at us. We've got to, on first down is a big key. Every down's a big key, but first down is huge. You let them knock off an 8-yard run on first down. Defensively, you're out of whack. Now you're playing second and short, and that's not where you want to be as a defense. Second and short, that's where they want to be on offense, but not on defense. And once you get a team in second and short, now you can look for the play action pass. You can look for anything. They've got the whole playbook available to them on situations like second and short. Second and short's a tough situation. It's a tough situation to be in. So it's going to be a defensive line. We've bragged about them all year. They're going to have a great game. We've talked a lot about Travis Ray at inside linebacker, along with Quentin Kinney at inside linebacker. Those guys are really going to have to step it up. And I told them, I said, our biggest adjustment is going to have to be to our chin strap. We're going to have to tighten them up because it's going to be a tough physical football game. One at the line of scrimmage, and it's going to be a battle. Hopefully, it's going to be a battle. Hopefully, we can stick around long enough and make this thing a football game where the fourth quarter, we still got this thing in doubt. And if it is, that's good for us.
Yeah, especially at home.
Because there's no way we're going to blow them out, and there's a way they could probably blow us out. But if we can go into the fourth quarter and we still have a good football game going on, that's good news for us.
No doubt about it, Coach. And hopefully that'll be there. We'll be there at the end. Make a charge, especially with Raquan so hard to defend for a defensive coordinator. Throw or run with Raquan, and he can make plays happen even after the plays that you think is dead. He's still running around back there, ad-libbing.
Well, there's no secret from this point on, and with the playoffs just around the corner, and we're starting to take a look at the power rankings now and all that, kind of seeing where things might happen.
Over there at it a little
bit. We need everybody to be playing their very best football, and we can't just look at Raquan and say, hey, you're our best football player. We got to have you play great. He understands that. We understand that, and we know he's going to give us his best, very best. But it's time for the offensive line, defensive line to play their best. It's time for us to be sharp and be making great plays on special teams. It's that time of the year. I mean, we've been doing this now for such a long time. I've been telling the players, we've been lining up and doing this stuff really since the 1st of May. in spring football. So 1st of May to now, we've been at this thing for quite a while. It's time for us to be looking our best and playing our best.
Now comes the payoff.
It really is. It's, playoffs are, and I guess it would be less than 3 weeks or 3 weeks away. It's playoff football now. It's single elimination. It's time to go. So this it's coming down quick. I know I had one of my seniors tell me today, said, Coach, it seemed like yesterday you were saying, hey, before you know it, it's going to be senior night, guys. Before you know it, we're going to be looking at the playoffs. Well, it's here. It is senior night, and it's two weeks away from playoffs. So it's right here.
And the playoffs, speaking of playoffs, you mentioned the power rankings. We looked at them a little bit. Clinch 3, we're 9. So, I mean, winner, obviously we want to win. But win or lose, we should still, I don't think there'll be
in the past, looking at in the power rankings in the past, this late in the season, you don't do a lot of jumping. Really,
everything kind of settles down.
You can move. You will move. I would think there's a better chance of us not being 9, but I don't think we'll also be 16.
Yeah.
And I don't think we'll also be 6. I think we're going to be somewhere in the area where we are, which is okay. Anywhere 9 to 16, you don't get the bye, which I'm not crazy about a bye. To be honest with you, I'd just rather be playing football. So somewhere from 9 to 16, you're hosting. We'll be right here in the swamp in 3 Fridays from now. So that's a good thing. Hopefully we can stay right there. Points, we need people like Brantley County. If Brantley County can get a win here or win or 2 in these next 2 weeks, that would help us. Yeah. As far as region, everybody kind of gets the same benefit. Half the region's going to win, half the region's going to lose, so that really don't change. The last week of the season, we traveled to Lakeland, Georgia, and played Lanier. I know are they old?
They're over.
They're over, and if we get over there and they're 0 for 9, and we were to win that game, you're not going to get a lot of points there because you need points. You get points for winning, sure, but you also get points for them winning. So when you play a team that hasn't had a great year, that doesn't help you a whole bunch. So I would venture to say that we're going to be right around that area, and we have a great chance. I think a great chance. I'd be surprised if we weren't at home for the first round.
For the first round. All right, Coach. Well, anything else? Anything else you want to hit on? I know I saw your post B team this week, right?
We are B team this week at Camden County. We have 2 more games, both of them with Camden. It's pretty convenient. They're only less than 30 miles away.
That's nice.
So this Thursday we go to Camden to play one of their many teams. It may be 9th grade, it may be B team, it may be C team. I don't know which, but one of the Camden teams we're going to go play. And then the last Thursday of the season, we'll be right here in the swamp for one more B team game against Camden County again. So one of those
rematch.
One of those many teams. It'll be the 3rd time we've played them this year. So it's good competition. That's what we're looking for. We're looking for competition at the B team level, and we're lucky to have Camden that close, and we're lucky that we can work it out to where we can play them.
All right, Coach. Well, we'll see you Friday night, senior night. Early start with the seniors presentation, 7 o'clock.
7 o'clock with the seniors on the field and a bunch of dressed up mamas and daddies. You'll see some daddies out there wearing a tie that you never get to see them wear probably. And I always try to sneak out and get a peek of that. It's always good to see it's a big night. I can still remember my 2 senior nights, or when I was in high school we called it Parents' Night. And that's a great way to look at it also. It's just a big a night, maybe more almost, for the parents. Hopefully our seniors will have another home game out here, but it's a great night to recognize the parents along with it, and it's a big deal. And in high school and college, when I had my parent night / senior night, I remember it was a really, really big deal to get to share that with my mom and stuff, and it's a big night.
All right, well, we'll see you Friday night, Coach. Big game in the swamp. Clinch County right here, number 3 versus number 9. Y'all be here early. Senior night starts at 7 o'clock. Thank you for watching the Coach Mack Show.
Gannett AC Heat and Electric. located at 141 West Love Street in Folkestone, Georgia. They service all makes and models of air conditioning and heating units, electric and plumbing supplies, blown installation, appliance parts and service, as well as sheet metal products. Gant is a proud sponsor of the Charlton Sports Network, Go Indians, and the Band of Pride. Whistle & Dixie Custom Framing and Unique Gifts and Cafe is located at 3742 Main Street in downtown Folkestone, Georgia. Lunches are served on Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Come join the fun food and fellowship whether you're a local, tourist, or a Royal fan. We also serve Bluebell ice cream, coffees, and lattes. While dining, feel free to browse around as we also have custom framing, train art, custom t-shirts, and unique gifts. Looking for a real lodging? You can also stay at the Chessy Caboose or the Peaks Cabin. Come see us. Charlton Electric, now serving Charlton and surrounding counties. With over 20 years experience in both commercial and residential services, our electricians can meet your needs. We offer installation on whole house generators, service upgrades, mobile home services, troubleshooting, ceiling fan and light fixture installations, and much more. Call us today for an estimate at 912-276-7661. Custom Creations and Boutique is located at 246 First Street in Folkestone, right behind Lonnie Joe's Hair Salon. They offer a wide variety of items such as boutique clothing, shoes, jewelry, customized tees, home decor, gift and handmade items, and much more. Stop in and get all your custom game day apparel. They offer vinyl designs for shirts, signs, car decals, and more. There are many designs to choose from, or you can create your own. Custom Creations also does embroidered shirts and hats. They can be reached at 912-496-4987 or find them on Facebook.